How you doing? This is Brother T. If you want to support the channel, we have t-shirts and other merch right there in the description. Just hit the link.
You were a star child, let your light shine for all the world. When you open your mouth to reveal a pearl, let it shine more, just to light the path. If it don't add up, man, just do. How you doing? This is Terrion Wilson, aka your boy Brotha T, here with another one. And today is gonna be a hot one, sizzling, flaming. I'm just kidding. So before we get into it though, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like and I need you to subscribe, because when you like and subscribe, we can continue to give you these pine cones of wisdom. Now that we got that out of the way, we're going to talk about how men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Oh my goodness. So we are so different, right? The way we think, the way we interact in a relationship, the way we, try to understand each other, even though we really don't understand each other. We try it. It's so different, right? And we're talking in general, but understand though that, when it comes to gender and energy, two different things. So you can be a man and embrace your feminine energy, and vice versa. You can be a woman and embrace your masculine energy. But today we're talking about just gender, okay? We're gonna keep it kind of simple today. We're not gonna confuse it with the energy. So I'm talking about gender today, okay? Gender. All right, so men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Now, this concept got popular in the 90s with an author named John Gray. He came out with a book in the 90s and named it just that. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And he was trying to explain the differences in the way we interact on a relationship level. Our communication's different, right? For instance, men, a lot of times, especially if we embracing our masculine energies, right? We are more direct in the way we communicate, all right? So tell us straight up what the problem is. We don't like to read between the lines. It's just something we're not pre-wired to do, okay? Now, some of us can do it, but it's not something that your average man would be able to do. We don't read between the lines a lot. So if you're looking for that and you're a woman, good luck. Now, he wrote this book in the 90s and he tried to explain this, okay? He tried, he did okay. But the purpose of this episode is to kind of talk about some of the stuff he put in that book, but I want to emphasize also that he didn't make that concept up. All right, he didn't just came out and wake up one day and say, oh, this would be great. No, it's actually based in astrology. So in astrology, they look at planets and where they're aligned at any given moment. It depends on what kind of chart you're reading. If you're reading a birth chart, or if you're reading certain aspects, or if you're going into certain houses. We'll go into that stuff later. But each planet has, its own characteristics in astrology. And then Mars is usually set aside for masculine traits. All right, even though we are talking about gender today, but it's it goes a little deeper. So that's why he named it that, because Mars in astrology is linked to the male gender or masculine traits as a whole. Now, historically, astrologers have associated with Mars with this masculine principle, and it's how you fight and conquer. The going fearlessly after something. So that is the main reason why he said men are from Mars, right? That's the thought behind it. So what about Venus in astrology? What does Venus represent? Venus represents all things that are sensual, right? Embodiment, pleasure. So some of you ladies out there, you're waiting for your husband or man to become more communicative with you, to be a better listener, to be a little more, sometimes a little more affectionate. These are feminine qualities. These are qualities that women take on naturally. I'm not saying that men can't do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. They'll just have to embrace another side of themselves to be able to do that. And that wouldn't make them, homosexual or anything like that. No, we're talking about energies here. Even though I said I wasn't going to talk about energy, right? I pull, it's like the mob. Once you think you're out, you get pulled back in, right? So I just want to hammer home once again for those that are wondering when we're talking about, because I don't want anyone to be confused on the channel. Once again, sometimes we're talking about gender when we're talking about men and women, right? But when you hear me talk and I talk about masculine and feminine, I'm not necessarily putting masculine on men all the time and femininity on women. Men can embrace feminine qualities or feminine traits, and vice versa. Women can adopt masculine traits. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that men, a lot of times in communication, we are a little more direct. We like you to tell, if it's a problem, tell us directly. Don't walk around and keep silent or, stop talking to us and stuff like that. We just come to us directly so we can see the problem, fix the problem, get to another day. Let's switch it. Women, sometimes they want men to lock in on them on on an emotional level and understand and catch things, without it being said. So how do we solve this? If men are thinking that way and women are thinking that way, it's all about communication and understanding each other. Once we sit back, I should say, and we try to look at the other person's perspective, that's a good way to start to understand how the other side thinks. Because if I'm a man and I communicate directly, you just have to kind of almost convince yourself to be another way sometimes, just so things can work out a little better in the end. And I would say that vice versa for some ladies out there. Sometimes you want to be a little more direct, right? It'll be easier to communicate with your husband. You think he's going to read between the lines and know, like if he says something and it's a little out of turn, and it's a little mean, but he didn't realize that what he was saying was mean, and you just, you feel a certain way about it, and he sees you moping, he might say, well, what's wrong with you? He might literally not know what he did. Now you might jump on the phone with your lady friends and say, he knows what he did. He knows, he's walking around like he doesn't know. He might really not know what he did. And that's sometimes that's a big thing in relationships, is communication. In my opinion, all relationships are based on communication. Every single relationship you have is going to be based on some sort of communication. Think about it. Even if let's say you're deeply religious, let's say you're a Christian, right? And you're supposed to have a relationship with God, correct? But let's say you don't communicate with him at all. Let's say you never pray, you never read your Bible, you don't even acknowledge that he exists most of the time. What kind of relationship would that be? Think about it. So even that relationship is based on communication, and you can argue that he's communicating to you if you're of that religion, through the Bible, through the preacher, through people talking to you on a spiritual level, things like that, right? Think about it. So all relationships, no matter what they are based on communication and getting those communication styles together. So let's go into another aspect, which is going to get a little touchy for some of you, which will be the sexual aspect of it. Oh my goodness. All right. So even sexually, we have different things that I was quite surprised. The older I get, I realize that ladies, they're into that just as much as we are. There's just certain aspects to it, right? We embrace it in a different way. I have a episode on this platform called Soul Ties. You can check it out at any given moment. And we'll wait till you're done with this video, though. Don't be crazy now. I want you to look at this video too. But when you get a chance, you can go back, check that video out. It's very cool. And in that video, I try to explain how soul ties exist and how they come about. I'm not going to go deep into that right now, but I do want to bring it up just to illustrate the fact that men sometimes are not affected in the same way as women when it comes to soul ties, which are, we'll say, unhealthy soul ties. Okay, so sometimes we can create a soul tie and keep it moving to the next soul tie, keep it going and keep it going and keep it going because of the way we're wired, right? Especially our testosterone. That's the main thing. Now, women have very low levels of testosterone, but the average woman does, rather. But guys, the average guy is going to have higher levels of testosterone. This is what keeps our sex drive there, right? This allows us to be able to do that, what I was saying with the soul ties. And it's the reverse with women. A lot of times soul ties would affect them differently. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that you're going to be messed up and all this stuff. What I'm saying is you'll have a stronger tie with those. So when it slows down, especially sometimes when you have kids or you get used to each other, you get married and stuff, sometimes it slows down naturally. And guys, a lot of times we really still want to do it unless other factors are involved. But the average guy, he will want it. Keep going. A lot of women, you have to warm up the iron before you use it. You know what I'm saying? You got to warm it up. You got to, they want to feel a certain way. They want to feel connected to their man. They want to feel that connection. Guys, we don't necessarily got to feel a connection. I'm telling too many secrets. I need to chill. It's nice, but we don't have to. You know what I mean? We just, hey. Okay, so I will get out of here before I get deeper into trouble. I'm digging myself a ditch, right? So let me shut up. All right, so men are from Mars, women of Venus. I just wanted to stop through, do a little quick video. I don't think it was that quick though, but I'm out of here, family. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna come with something cool next time. Peace. I'm out of here.